Okay, so we're here once again in Sword Factory, and today I'm going to be showing you guys basically how to get the most overpowered damage sword that you can possibly get. So obviously right now I do have a very decent damage sword which does around 80 trillion damage, as you can see there. However, even I can take some of my own tips into consideration, and yeah, let's just get straight into the video, and I'm going to basically show you guys how to get a really good damage sword. So obviously, there's a lot of things to take into consideration, such as the class and the rarity and the enchants as well. However, I would say the main part of a damage sword is actually its level. Now, as you can see, my current damage sword is level 520, and you might remember back to my previous damage sword, which was around 7 trillion, and basically the big difference between them, although obviously the class is a little bit down on it as well, the level is a massive factor. So basically I would say they're more or less around the same. Obviously this one right now is doing 80 trillion. However, this one here is only doing 7 trillion, and that's because the level is so much lower than the 521. And basically that's mainly the main part of the sword is the level. Now, if you do end up going into like the Discord server or something, or some trading servers for Sword Factory, you'll actually see people trading some pretty decent swords and a lot of value just for a random level sword. And the reason for that being is obviously because the level is so important. Now, it also does depend on what part of the game you're in, what kind of level you are actually at in the game as well, and what kind of value you also have and your net worth and stuff like that. But basically what you're going to want to go and do is more or less just go straight for refunding all of your upgrades like so. Now, obviously, this means that you will get all of your money back like so. And what this is actually doing is it's going to be bringing back basically one of my old videos on how to get OP swords. And that's basically going to be showing you, basically you just need to kind of get all your money back and put it all into your upgrader. So I'm just going to quickly put this on times 50. And then if you can see right now with my upgrader, swords right now are only coming out at level 300 and, well, even there, level 270. But what you're going to need to go ahead and do is obviously put your upgrader up as high as you possibly can. Now, there is also another thing that you need to do for this, and you might have actually seen there that that sword did actually cap out at level 270, instead of actually coming out as 384. And the reason for that is because actually the rarities do actually have level caps. Now, as you can see right now, if we come over to here to the upgrader and look through here into the enchant, as you can see, this is coming out at level 400 right now, which is very good. However, once it comes through to the appraiser, you'll actually see that it goes down to 260 there, and that is because obviously rarities do have level caps, so you will also need to bump up your appraiser as well, just as much as you possibly can. Now, I would say maybe a level 500 or so would probably be perfect for this. It also does still depend on your level, obviously, but basically just get your appraiser and your upgrader as high as you possibly can, like so. I could probably even get this up even a little bit more. There we go, level 650. Now, I know in previous videos I have said that level, this 32 times is the best. However, just for this, you might as well go ahead and put it on the highest you possibly can, just because then you're going to be getting a lot more higher level swords and stuff, as well as then you're not going to have to worry about level caps on your rarities and stuff like that. Now, obviously, it will take quite a while to come through, and it will be better if you guys do have like faster machines and faster conveyors and stuff like that. However, as you can see, this sword's coming out at level 485 right now, which is obviously more than I would be getting before. And this one is obviously at 390. I mean, I think this one might have just accidentally missed out on all of the other stuff. I'm going to go ahead and also upgrade everything else just so everything's a little bit quicker. But yeah, basically this way you're going to get really high level swords. As you can see, this one's 470. Now, depending on how lucky you actually are, sometimes you can get way higher swords. Like, to be honest, I probably could be lucky enough to get another like level 520 sword if I am obviously patient enough. However, you do need to be very patient to get a high level sword, but still, this way you're going to get really high level swords. And once you start getting high level swords, if I do come over here real quick and just kind of wait for this next one to come through, as you can see, this one's level 470 right now. So if I go ahead and pick this up and take this over to the upgraded ascender, or just your normal ascender if you don't have this one unlocked, as you can see, this one's only 8 levels off of this one. But even then, you are still going to be getting a level 470 sword, and you're more or less going to be doing around 7 trillion once you do actually upgrade it enough. I have all of my swords, literally just kind of random swords stashing up my inventory right now. But yeah, basically this way, as you can see now, what you're going to basically want to do is more or less just kind of reset your upgrades once again. So once you do have a very good level sword, I will just kind of accept this level 470 for now. But once you do have basically a high enough level sword that you're happy with, you can once again go on and reset your upgrades. And then, depending on what part of the upgrade you're actually doing, right now I'm obviously doing rarity, I'm going to go ahead and put all of my money straight back into the appraiser, like so. And in this way, I'm going to have the best chances to get some really, really good rarities. And if we go ahead and just quickly bump this up right now, I should be able to get to maybe level 107 or level 700. If I'm lucky enough, not quite, okay. However, obviously then we can just go ahead and bump it up a little bit more, like so, all the way up to 685, which is not too bad at all. And then this way, obviously right now I have my boards set to chance, but basically this way you are going to have a lot more stuff. I also need to upgrade my conveyor. Wow. But yeah, obviously once you've done all this, you can then go ahead and actually see the true chances. So if I just quickly switch this over to Ascender right now, and come over to this board, as you can see, really you're going to be aiming for at least unique minus and above, because that way you are going to be doing a lot more damage. Now, Godly plus can be quite good, and even just normal Godlies in general can be quite good, depending on what level you have. However, I would always say aim for at least unique minus, just because as you can see, this is doing a 200 times power multiplier, which is very, very good. And obviously, each boost goes up by quite a lot, so you are going to be aiming for at least something like unique minus. And right now for me, 1 in 30,000 is not bad whatsoever. It shouldn't really take me too long. And I do believe the upgraded Ascender does actually have more luck. So if you do have the upgraded Ascender, that's going to be doing even more for you. So hopefully you should be able to get unique very quickly. And as you can see right now, I already have up to insane. Now obviously this is going to be the same kind of trick for each one. So once you've got the your rarity up to whatever you want to get it up to, you can then go ahead, refund all your upgrades again, like I am doing right now, and then go ahead and put it into something else. So I'm then going to move on to the enchanter, and this way obviously then the enchants are quite important because they obviously do a lot of damage, and then they also actually give you more health on top of that as well. So once again, you're just going to want to put all of your money straight into your enchanter, just like so, as much as you can get it up to. There we go, level 700 for that one. And then obviously you're going to want to put it onto enchants. Now, as you can see, already we're getting some very decent enchants there, like level 16, level 15, level 15 there as well. Now, I would say, once again, you're probably going to want to aim for at least enchant 20 on some of these. And again, it does obviously, it basically requires you to have a decent level as well. But obviously, if you don't have a decent level, I would just say come over to this board. Now, as you can see right now, for me, level 20 is 1 in 224. Now I would say you want to aim for something that's around at least 1 in 100 to 1 in 500 as your bare minimum. Now obviously it does take a little bit longer to get things like level enchant 25. Now if we do quickly go ahead and look at my damage sword right now, I do actually have it in my inventory. As you can see, mine is unique plus, which is a very, very good one. It also gives me a nice little 271 times power multiplier. It's also chaotic, which is also a very, very good. And if we have a look at chaotic right now, it is 150 times power multiplier, which is very, very good indeed. And as you can see on my enchants, I actually have some very, very good enchants. I've got sharpness 24, I've got power 24, and I've also got a resistance 22 even. And as you can see, that gives me 48 trillion health, which is very, very good. And also, obviously, the 80 trillion damage. Now, obviously, it does genuinely depend on your net worth and your current level. However, once you do start getting higher and higher, I would recommend just kind of always swapping around this, redoing the trick every time you go up maybe like 10 levels or something. Obviously, the higher you get, the harder it is to level up. So by the time you get to somewhere like I am right now, a level 520 sword is obviously pretty good. However, depending on what level you are, you will get a lot better levels. Now, you can also maybe go out and ask a very high level player to get you a decent level sword, and sometimes they will be willing, because obviously some people do make like level 500 swords just for no reason, because that's just how the machine's set up. But yeah, basically what you need to do is just get a very, very high level sword, and then once you've finally got a good high level sword, you want to do the trick that I've just showed you there in just kind of refunding all your upgrades, putting it all into one, upgrading a part until you're happy, refunding it all again, upgrading another part till you're happy, and keep repeating. And obviously you need to do up your classifier. You're going to want to do up your enchanter and also your appraiser, because those are the main ones that do actually do your damage. And if you also want some aesthetic on there, you can also obviously do up the mold or something. However, as you can see right now, my damage sword is worthless, pretty much, to be honest. 400 billion isn't really that much, considering the fact that I do, or well, I might have had at some point, some much more higher thingy swords. I do actually have one over here that's like 7 trillion or something like that. And that is basically the difference between your value swords and your damage sword, is that your damage sword does not need to have value whatsoever. So I really wouldn't waste any time putting it in the molder or the polisher, maybe unless you want to put it in for like 5 seconds just to get it up to something. It's up to you. But yeah, I would definitely spend a long time doing things like your rarity and your class. And I would also spend a very long time just kind of waiting around until you get a nice, decent, high level sword. And obviously if you can't, you can go out and ask some people. There probably will be someone out there who's nice enough. But yeah, that is basically all you need to do. And that way you will get a decent damage sword. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.